What up, everybody? It's your boy Jordan. We're back again with another video. Today, I'll be reacting to a video from JxmyHighroller, and the title of the video is NBA fans aren't ready to hear the truth. So let's go right into the video. Wait, somebody said y'all aren't ready for this conversation. Anthony Davis over Tim Duncan. No, that's wild. Jokic a 7-foot Draymond. MJ being a high usage Lance Stevenson is insane. No. Oh yeah. Oh, this video. Oh man.
The good old hot take. The necessary evil of the sports world. Through the good ones, the bad ones, and the downright atrocious ones. We once again find ourselves racking our brains, trying to figure out how some people come up with this nonsense. But today, I've done the brain racking for you, and found some of the hottest NBA takes on the internet. So, buckle up. This may be a bumpy ride. It's been a couple months since our last edition of NBA Hot Takes, so despite my head still reeling from our last batch, we've got some new scorchers to take a look at. You'd think I'd know better than to peer into the cold, soulless abyss of casual NBA fandom by now. But I'm sick. I can't help myself. And I've got nothing better to do. So here we are. Now this first one, some people are not going to be happy with. This NBA fan says, in terms of excitement, Steph is this generation's Jordan. And I agree. Steph may not be this generation's best player.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like what Jimmy said. Of course, this generation best player is LeBron. But yeah, in terms of excitement, oh yeah, Steph for sure. Yeah, I agree with that definitely.
But when it comes to drawing eyes and attention and putting on an absolute show, there's no one that does it like Stephen Curry. The deep threes, the antics, the fact that he's still on the same team that drafted him, it all adds to the Steph experience that fans across the globe love about watching him play. This man has kids on the other side of the planet rocking his jersey trying to knock down look-away threes. This relatively small, unassuming athlete who wasn't a superstar recruit, rising through the NBA ranks and winning titles amongst giants, how can you not love the guy? Is there anything as thrilling as watching Steph come down the court? Defense absolutely scrambling, trying, hoping they can stall the inevitable. But it's too late. Steph is pulling up from 30 feet, and the outcome is already set in stone.
Curry, long distance. Bang!
There's just nothing like it. The fans love Steph. He's the people's champ. And I agree that, in terms of excitement, he is this generation's Jordan. Now, with Nikola Jokic making a run for his third straight league MVP, the man is on track to making NBA history. But with all that success has come more scrutiny for his shortcomings. Some of these critiques are absolutely ridiculous, and some might be warranted. A couple days ago, Stephen A. Smith said that Jokic potentially winning back-to-back-to-back league MVPs, despite his lack of playoff success, is almost criminal, questioning the validity of his awards. And like many fans of the NBA, this guy feels that this criticism of Jokic isn't fair, because he's always made the most of what he's been given in the playoffs year after year. And I understand this line of thinking. I mean, the MVP...
Now, of course, at this moment, Nuggets probably won the championship. at this moment, yeah, Nuggets won the championship, and Jokic probably got Finals MVP. In my opinion, though, in the regular season, it was between Giannis and him. That's my opinion. I didn't think Embiid should have got the MVP. In my opinion, I would have gave it to Giannis, but I would have been mad if Jokic won his third straight MVP, though. I would have been mad at that.
Year. And I understand this line of thinking. I mean, the MVP is a regular season award after all, so the playoffs really shouldn't be brought up in this discussion. But it is, and it always has been. Since the beginning of time, NBA fans have used the playoffs as a bit of a litmus test to try to validate or invalidate regular season MVPs. It's practically a rite of passage for any all-time great player. and Nikola Jokic should be no exception of this. Must we not forget, Giannis was getting eviscerated for coming up short in the postseason after winning back-to-back MVPs, or when people called LeBron a choke artist for winning 2 MVPs but failing to win a championship, or when Kobe was stiffed out of possibly multiple MVPs because the Lakers just weren't a real contender at the time. You can give me all the excuses in the world, and it won't really make a difference, because no other...
I'll say this because I'll say I'm that type of person. In my opinion, when you say somebody's the MVP, you're telling the fans of the NBA they are the best player in the world. Especially back-to-back, you're telling fans they are the best player in the world. So when we see them in the playoffs and they are not hooping, that's why the fans criticize them. Like, wait, you're telling us this guy is the best player in the world, but he ain't hooping like it. Like, I understand it why the fans is criticizing them. I understand the other side, too. They saying MVP's a regular season award, but I think more fans, I'm one of them fans, look at the broader spectrum of it. Like, you're telling me this player is the best player in the league. I'm going to judge him based off the best player in the league. I hope that makes sense. I understand how people say it's different because that's the playoffs and that's the regular season. But in my opinion, you telling me somebody winning MVP, they the best player in the league. That's how I look at MVP.
Other all-time great player was granted any excuses either. If a player wants to ascend to all-time great status, he will be held to an all-time great standard. The man is on track to winning his 3rd straight MVP, and he hasn't even made the NBA Finals. This is unprecedented. Now, is this criticism unjust? Maybe, but why should Jokic be spared from intense criticism when no other great player was? We've seen voter fatigue and narratives and postseason failures prevent countless players from winning the regular season MVP. Why is Jokic exempt from this same standard? Once a player receives a certain level of praise, no excuse will be sufficient in explaining why they haven't won a ring.
No, yeah, I don't think that's fair, though. They shouldn't use, like, players' past playoff experiences for the next season. Like I said, I would have been mad Jokic won his 3rd straight MVP, even though, well, of course, this year he made the finals. But if he didn't make the finals, that should prevent him from winning seasons further. I'm talking about in regards to being the best player in the world. Like I said, Nuggets most likely going to win the championship, and Jokic going to be finals MVP most likely. And now if people call him the best player in the world, I'm not going to be mad at that. I'm just talking about in regard to like being the best player in the league. I think MVP play a broader spectrum instead of just looking at the regular season. I think playoffs should matter. For example, Luka. Let's say Luka got like 6 MVPs. Luka never touched the finals, and Luka never won a finals MVP. You can tell me, I can say Luka is a great player. That's undeniable. But I might look at you a certain way if you're trying to tell me Luka the best player in the league. Like, huh? Like, Luka can win as many MVPs as he's won, but if he ain't getting no finals MVP, no championship, you can't tell me he the best player in the league. But in my opinion, that's what MVPs are telling me. Like, well, not telling me. That's what the NBA is telling the fans. You are the best player in the league. Hopefully my thought process makes sense. I hope y'all get that. So basically, just a review of MVP. You could win MVP, not make the finals. We will still call you a great player, but if you keep winning, like, for example, Giannis, I was criticizing Giannis when he won back-to-back MVPs and he didn't go to the championship. Like, you could say Giannis is a great player, but the best player in the league, you got to take him out that conversation. In my opinion, you can't be the best player in the league without an MVP. Well, man, you can't be the best player in the league without a championship. So, of course, Giannis got one now. In my opinion, the best 3 players in the league, to me, is Jokic, Giannis, and LeBron. Wherever order y'all think, I think those are the best 3 players in the league. That's my opinion, though. Back to the video.
Or even come close, for that matter. Efficient in explaining why they haven't won a ring. Or even come close, for that matter. This is how it's always been, and I completely disagree with this take. Now, just a couple days ago, Damian Lillard put on an absolute clinic when he scored 71 points against the Rockets. 71 points. The man hit 13 threes and was a perfect 14 for 14 from the line. He did it all. I mean, this was a masterpiece from Dame. But leave it up to NBA fans to find the fault in this performance because, according to some fans, Dame's 71 points weren't all that impressive since he did it against one of the worst defensive teams in the league.
That's crazy! What? That 71 points against anybody in the NBA is insane. Oh my God. Man, oh my goodness. We can't be appreciative of nothing. We can't be happy for nobody in the league. Man, every time somebody do some good in the NBA, we got to tear them down. Man. 71 points is insane. Like, come on. Anybody doing that on any team in the league is impressive. Like, come on.
Up to NBA fans to find the fault in this performance because, according to some fans, Dame's 71 points weren't all that impressive since he did it against one of the worst defensive teams in the league. You heard that correctly. Scoring 71 points in an NBA game is no longer impressive if you do it against a bad defensive team.
Crazy.
And this take is so unhinged that I almost don't want to even address it. But I'm going to anyways. Now, I'm gonna let y'all in on a little secret. But you can't tell anyone I told you this. Most big games throughout NBA history are against bad defensive teams. Surprise! Pretty crazy, right? Wilt's 100-point game in 1962 was against the Knicks, who were the second worst defensive team in the league at the time. Kobe Bryant's 81 in 2006 was against the Raptors, who were also the second worst defensive team in the league. And David Thompson's 73 in 1978 was against the Pistons, who were the 9th worst defensive team in the league at the time. In fact, this is the case with nearly every all-time big scoring night throughout NBA history. LeBron's career high was against the Bobcats, who were the worst defensive team in the league. Shaq's career high was against the Clippers, who were also the worst defensive team in the league. Steph's career high was against the 3rd worst defensive team in the league, and Michael Jordan's career high was against the 9th worst defensive team in the league at the time.
Tell him, Jimmy. Hey, that is true though. Most of the players' best games against the worst defensive teams. If y'all gonna do that with Dame, you basically say there's no good game in NBA history. If y'all saying that with Dame, yeah, basically y'all saying there's no such thing as a great game in NBA history. Because basically every single great player career highs against a bad defensive team. Come on, Jimmy.
Even Donovan Mitchell's 71 earlier this season was against the 5th worst defense in the entire NBA. It's like some fans have to search for a reason to discredit some players. Dame could have scored 71 on the worst defensive team ever, and it still would have been an incredible accomplishment.
Right.
You could put me in front of your local youth league championship team, and I couldn't score 71 points in 39 minutes. Every season, every single player gets a shot to go crazy on bad defensive teams. There has been thousands of opportunities for players to use these bad teams as their punching bag, and yet only 3 players have ever topped this 71-point explosion from Dame.
Right.
This performance was historic, and this take is horrendous. Now, this fan here says Michael Jordan is sensitive, but he gets a pass because he's good at basketball. And I agree with half of this take. Michael Jordan was sensitive. People will excuse his behavior as competitive, but everyone in the NBA is competitive. Jordan couldn't take criticism whatsoever. In fact, his famous quote is literally a statement of how things people did and said about him really got to him. But he didn't get a pass just because he was good at basketball.
Right.
He gets a pass because every time someone pissed him off, he always went out and proved them wrong.
Facts.
They said Clyde Drexler was his equal. He didn't like that, and so he went out.
I still don't understand that to this day. Clyde Drexler was MJ equal? Now that's insane. Hey, Clyde was a dog. Don't get me wrong. Clyde was nice. But equal to MJ? No way. Man. Now, I would say MJ was definitely sensitive, though. Like, with him and the Isaiah Thomas situation, that's been going on for like 30 years. Like, this is getting out of hand. It's mostly on Isaiah Thomas' side, but MJ let that man off the dream team. Like, that's insane. Like, come on. Now he is sensitive. But I would say he got a pass, though. Michael Jordan is great at basketball. In my opinion, Michael Jordan is the 2nd greatest basketball player in NBA history. But he was sensitive, though. Y'all talk about LeBron being sensitive. No, MJ is sensitive as well. Now, both of them, LeBron and MJ, is very competitive as well. But yeah, both of them are sensitive, though.
Went out and proved them wrong. They said Clyde Drexler was his equal. He didn't like that, and so he went out and stomped the man in the NBA Finals. They said he wasn't as good when he came back from his first retirement, so he added that to his list of reasons to be an absolute menace and three-peated for the 2nd time. You can be as sensitive as you want if you back it up.
Right.
I think most NBA fans would consider Kevin Durant sensitive, but if he followed up his tweets with more championships and absolute dominance over the NBA for the rest of his his career, those tweets would be an afterthought.
Right.
Now, our last take is a scorcher. And not even for a split second does it add up in any way, shape, or form. This NBA fan says, back then, we used to celebrate threepeats. Now kids are out here celebrating 4 titles in 10 tries and call it greatness. This is so stupid. Now clearly, this is referring to LeBron James, to which I...
Oh my goodness, y'all can't appreciate nothing. Oh my God. Of course, I'm not talking about y'all that's watching. I'm talking about like some NBA fans. When I say y'all, I'm not talking about y'all, by the way. I love everyone that's watching this, because if you're watching this, you're a pure basketball fan. But I'm saying like some people, oh my goodness. Like, man, do some people that watch basketball appreciate anything a player do? Like, man, this is getting out of hand. The LeBron slander, the MJ slander, the Kobe slander gotta stop. Like I said a few minutes ago with the MVPs. Now, I criticize players when they win MVP and don't win the finals or the championship, but I'm not gonna disregard them and say they bad players, they chokers, they suck. Like, I ain't gonna go that far. They're great players. Jokic, he got 2 MVPs. He gonna get a championship this year, of course. But he wasn't winning no championship. I wasn't denying it. I was saying Jokic was the best center in the league. Giannis was getting MVPs and wasn't winning. Giannis is a dog. Like, we have to stop slandering these great players for no reason. We have to stop slandering them. Like, come on. Like I said, we gotta stop slandering LeBron, MJ, Michael Jordan. Like, yeah, well, I'll say MJ than Michael Jordan. I mean MJ, Kobe Bryant. We have to stop. This is get out of hand. We have to appreciate greatness. We have to. Either way is great. For example, Kobe and MJ threepeats, those are great. LeBron making the finals 10 times and winning 4, that's still great. Making the finals 10 times in general is insane. There was a time LeBron made 8 straight finals. That is insane. Like, come on, y'all. Come on. I had to rant a little bit.
This is so stupid. Now clearly, this is referring to LeBron James, to which I genuinely ask this fan, and fans who think like this, do you really think LeBron's career hasn't been great? I mean, really? Is it possible that we can celebrate any ring that any player wins at any time? Or has the bar been established so high that if you aren't three-peating, it isn't truly greatness? Alright everyone, new rule. No celebrating rings or titles or MVPs or big or small successes anymore. We are only celebrating three-peats. Dirk's ring wasn't great. The bum only won 1 in 21 years. Boston's ring in 08, worthless. Raptors in 2019, bums. Bucks in 2021, Giannis and the gang, bums. We don't celebrate that. Get that out of here. I just can't believe some fans actually think like this. I mean, according to this logic, no one in the entire NBA right now should be celebrated. We need to drop this whole rings or bust discourse altogether.
Right.
It's just silly, and it's a bad faith argument to discredit really awesome players. In fact, this same fan goes on to share posts celebrating the greatness of players like Damian Lillard and John Stockton, who've never won a ring. And most ironic of all, this fan goes on to say that the '89 Cleveland Cavaliers were the greatest team in franchise history, literally describing a team that was bounced out of the first round of the playoffs as the greatest.
Oh, no. Cut up, Jimmy. No, this video lit. Oh, man. That is hilarious. But I totally agree with Jimmy, though. We got to stop. No, we got to start appreciating players. We got to stop slandering great players. We have to stop. We have to stop. We have to appreciate greatness. Like, come on, man. Like, I know everyone can't win a championship in the NBA. In my opinion, you got to be a top 5 player to win a championship. But even a player don't win a ring, we're not just going to sit here and act like they're not great. John Stockton is great. Karl Malone is great. Charles Barkley is great. Let me see, more players that haven't won a ring. Patrick Ewing is great. Allen Iverson is great. Like, all them players are great. So they're not great because they have no championship? Like, come on. Like, man, these takes are wild.
So not only is this line of thinking flat out wrong, it's disingenuous. A player doesn't need to pull off the greatest feat in the history of the game to be great. Greatness comes in many different shapes and forms.
Right.
And apparently, so do takes on the NBA. And unfortunately, that's all the racking my brain can handle in one sitting. But y'all know the drill. Leave a comment with your hottest NBA take. The hotter, the better. Or worse. Hope you all enjoyed.
Oh yeah, leave y'all hot takes in the bottom as well. I'm curious to see what y'all think.
And as always, until next time.
Once again, shout out to Jimmy. That was a great video, like showing all the hot takes some NBA fans were saying. Yeah, those takes were insane though. No, some of them were just flat out wild. It made no sense. Man, this is a great video from Jimmy. Man. I'm just still thinking about how wild them takes were. Man. So drop down in the comments below y'all thoughts about this video. Y'all can also drop y'all hot takes in the comments below. I'm curious to see what y'all think. And I hope everyone have a blessed day. I'm out.